How's it going down there in Australia and New Zealand land in the world down under? I did a video recently, and it was the most amazing Australian inventions. And there was a lot of comments that there was a ton of inventions not on the list. The cochlear implant, like the hearing aid, Wi-Fi, penicillin. Actually, penicillin I think might have been on the list. But anyways, there was a ton that was not on the list. So there was a lot of people requesting me to do more Australian inventions. So I found this video here, Aussie Inventions you might not know about. Links down below for the original video so you can go check it out yourself and go to the original channel and hit like on the original video. And thanks for watching with me. We're going to check it out and see. Maybe this video will cover some of the other stuff. If not, you'll just have to let me know about it and maybe we'll just do another one of these, right?
If you ask the average Australian to name a great Australian invention,
Kangaroos?
they're most likely to say Vegemite or the Hills Hoist. At a pinch, they might also mention the Victor lawnmower or the stump.
The lawnmower, yes, yes. That was listed in the comment section. That was, yeah, a lot of people. But somebody said the lawnmower already existed. It was just this style that was invented in Australia, which I guess is the standard style there. Or maybe this is just the standard. This looks like an early version of the regular lawnmower we have now. There's just no cover over the blade. That looks dangerous. Could you imagine hitting a rock with that thing? Ugh.
Jump plough. But we Aussies are a creative and innovative lot and have contributed a lot more to humanity than just gardening equipment.
Okay.
Here are 5 great Aussie inventions you might not have known about.
5. Mitchell bearing.
In 1905, Australian engineer Anthony Mitchell patented a new type of bearing called a fluid film thrust bearing, or simply a Mitchell bearing.
Okay.
The Mitchell bearing had tilting pads lubricated with oil. As the load on the bearing varied, the pads would automatically pivot to the optimal angle for most efficient running. At the start of the 20th century, this bearing was revolutionary, pun intended. It could sustain enormous thrust loads with minimal wear and without overheating, while being much more efficient and only 1/10 the size of the bearings it replaced. Within a decade, they had found almost universal application in large pumps, generators and ships.
Nice.
There was some reluctance by the British to adopt Mitchell bearings in their warships, until they discovered that the German Navy were using Mitchell bearings in their World War I U-boats, which gave the U-boats a range and speed that surprised the Royal Navy, and made the U-boats a much more effective weapon.
I wonder if I've came across these bearings then. I don't see any balls. It's not a ball bearing, so how is it? Are these here rollers? That might be like a roller thing.
As well as being efficient, the low wear of Mitchell bearings means they need little maintenance and are very reliable. A Mitchell bearing installed at the Holtwood hydroelectric power plant in Pennsylvania in 1912, supporting 165 tons of turbine and 40 tons of water pressure, is still in operation today.
Nice.
That bearing has been estimated to have a maintenance-free life of over 1,000 years.
1,000 years? Then why have I had to replace the wheel bearings in my car so many times? Why don't they just make the Mitchell bearing in the wheel hub of a vehicle? You know how much time I would have saved? And how much money I would have saved? I currently have a vehicle sitting in my driveway right now that needs a wheel hub. If I had a Mitchell bearing, I wouldn't have that problem, would I? Wow. It's all about money. If they put Mitchell bearings in everything, then they won't have repeat customers, will they? Nothing will break down and nobody will come back and have to have a reason to buy replacement parts. That's really what it boils down to, is capitalism. I'm pretty sure. The world would be such a better place if it wasn't money driven. Could you imagine? Mitchell bearings and everything. Nothing would fail. That'd be great. That would be amazing. Wow. Okay. This is a good invention. I like it. Maintenance free for 1,000 years. Wow.
Mitchell bearings, for their strength, efficiency and reliability, are still used on all large ships, power plants, pumps and turbines today.
Even the one that got stuck in the Suez Canal, probably. Froth flotation. What is this? See, these are some inventions that you got. You guys didn't mention this in the comments, so at least I didn't read. If you had, I didn't read it yet. But These might be inventions that you didn't know about. So this video is correct in the title. You might not know about because I didn't know about it. I don't know what a froth
At the start
flotation.
of the 20th century, mining was a much more wasteful process than it is now. The extraction processes of the time meant that miners were only able to extract about 70% of lead and as little as 50% of silver from their ores.
Okay.
Even large amounts of gold wound up in useless tailings piles. At
Yeah, this is actually a good tip for anybody that lives anywhere close to these. You can mine, I mean, of course, you have to have permission. I've watched a lot of YouTube channels where they go and they get the tailings, they get these scrap piles from old mines, and they get buckets of it and pan it out, and they find gold. They find quite a bit of gold in it. So if you're in an area like this, of course, get permission. I'm not trying to advise anybody to break the law, but go over there and scoop you up some. I'm telling you, there's going to be gold in it.
mine sites around the world, there were huge piles of waste material containing vast quantities of valuable metal that no one could extract.
Yeah.
In 1901, Charles Potter, a brewer from Melbourne, after seeing how bubbles in beer lifted the beer sediments to the surface of the vat, realised the same process could be used to separate valuable minerals from crushed rock. After testing the process with a sample of ore, he patented the technique. 2 years later, a plant using the flotation process to extract zinc was built in New South Wales. The flotation process has been refined and improved by many individuals and companies over the past century, and
Very
more than
cool.
99% of a metal can be extracted from its ore. Froth flotation has been described as one of the most significant advances in metallurgy in the last 1,000 years. I'll drink to that.
Really? Now, atomic absorption spectroscope. Yeah, we're definitely talking some stuff that you guys did not mention in the comment section. So you might not know about this. You're talking about Wi-Fi and lawnmowers. No, we're talking about atomic absorption spectroscope. I don't even know what this means, but we're going to find out.
In 1952, a group of chemists at the Commonwealth Scientific and Industrial Research Organisation, or CSIRO, led by Sir Alan Walsh, developed the atomic absorption spectroscope, a device able to detect minute amounts of different elements in materials ranging from soil to blood to wine. The spectroscope
Oh, is this what they use on the Border Patrol shows when they seize a shipment that has some questionable stuff? Sorry, my phone's exploding. Yeah, and then they put it on the thing and they scan it and they can see what the molecular structure is to see what kind of substance it is. I think that's what this is. That's pretty cool, actually.
spectroscope revolutionised chemical analysis and is now used throughout the world in laboratories, hospitals and factories. Atomic absorption spectroscopy works by vaporising a small amount of the material to be studied and shining a light through the vapour. The atoms in the vapour absorb specific colours of the light, leaving a fingerprint of their presence. This gives a very accurate indication of what atoms are present and in what amounts.
Okay, yeah, I think that is what they use on the Border Patrol shows because they put it on this little disc and there's like this light that shines through it. Yeah, I bet it's a modified version of one of these. That is very cool.
Apart from being an extremely valuable tool for analytical chemistry, the spectroscope kick-started Australia's scientific instrument industry, now worth more than $1 billion annually.
Nice. Yep, I knew about these. This one, I believe, was mentioned in the last one, and I got one from England over here. £5 note.
Another technology developed at CSIRO is used around the world every day, the polymer banknote. Plastic banknotes are much more difficult to forge and are able to easily incorporate security features such as clear windows, holograms, special inks and multi-layer designs. They last much longer than paper notes and so are cheaper to produce and have less of an impact on the environment. They last longer because they don't tear as easily and don't fall apart if they get wet. Tricks like this lost their novelty to Aussies decades ago. More than 20 countries including Brunei, Thailand, Britain and Canada now use Australian-developed polymer banknotes.
And I heard that the United States wanted to buy the technology because the United States wanted the polymer banknotes as well. But Australia was like, no, we'll print them for you. We can definitely handle that for you, but we're not going to sell you the technology. So the U.S. is like, oh, no, because, you know how the U.S. is. They want to be in charge. They want to do it all themselves so that they can just print and print and print and print and print and fund all their stuff that they do behind the scenes. And they wouldn't be able to do that if Australia was printing it for them. So we're just gonna stick with the paper notes that we have, the most counterfeited note in the world, I believe. So yeah, yay America. Hey, the implant. You guys definitely mentioned this. You were upset that the last video did not mention it, so we got it. And Wi-Fi was mentioned too. It'll be, yep, it's in there. Yeah. I figured it would be, as many comments was about it. The only three that they're covering in this is the implant, the Wi-Fi, and the lawnmower. There's a couple of these, like the bearing and the atomic absorption spectroscopes that you guys didn't know about. So, I showed you something.
Hearing aids improve the lives of millions of people every year, but they are essentially amplifiers, replaying the sounds they pick up at a higher volume, and so they can't help the profoundly deaf. Beginning in the late 1960s, Professor Graham Clark began research into cochlear implants, installing the first prototype in the ear of a deaf man in 1978. Cochlear implants bypass the most delicate and so often damaged parts of the ear by transmitting the sounds they pick up as electrical signals directly to the nerves in the patient's inner ear.
Wow.
Since 1978, many thousands of people around the world...
Okay, so that's not like a regular... That's an actual implant. That's not like just a hearing aid that you can pop in and out then. This is like wired to... Yeah, I think, right? They said something about it, just electrical impulses that go straight in. Unless it's just because it sits in the right spot, the electrical impulses can just go through the skin surface into the areas that it needs. Huh. If somebody could break this down for me in the comment section, that would be amazing.
...to the nerves in the patient's inner ear. Since 1978, many thousands of people around the world have benefited from the implant.
Yeah.
Australian researchers continue to improve the device and develop new technologies for hearing loss.
Oh, another thing you guys mentioned in the comment section was the pacemaker, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. That's also not mentioned in this video. But as long as I'm not mistaken, I believe somebody said something about the pacemaker was also Australian.
These 5 inventions are just the tip of the iceberg. Aussies invented super strong spun concrete pipes, tower cranes, the deceptively orange black box flight recorder, extended wear contact lenses, the pacemaker, and have made major contributions to IVF.
Okay, yeah, pacemaker, they did mention it, yeah.
And ultrasound. The list goes on. I'll leave you with a bonus invention.
Wi-Fi, yeah.
Wi-Fi. Sort of.
Sort of.
Where would we be without Wi-Fi? Probably not sitting on the couch watching this video right now. While Wi-Fi often tops the list...
I'm not on the couch watching this video right now. I'm in my computer chair at my desk. Thank you very much.
...of Cyro's greatest inventions, Cyro did not actually invent wireless LANs. What they invented was a way to make Wi-Fi faster, more robust and more reliable.
They
the Wi-Fi signals being transmitted around your house bounce off walls, furniture, you and even the cat. Your Wi-Fi enabled devices hear a cacophony of echoes which garble the data being transmitted. And those
which you can see with a map if you have the right technology, I heard. Yeah.
Echoes are constantly changing as you and the cat move around the house. To prevent this, the data transmission rate would have to be slowed down so that your device can pick the signal out of the noise. Cyro invented a way around this. Cyro scientists drew on their expertise in radio astronomy, a field of research where weak signals have to be separated from all sorts of noise. By splitting the data transmission over a range of neighbouring frequencies and then using clever algorithms to quickly piece the information back together, Wi-Fi devices can transmit and receive much faster and more reliably. If you're watching this video using Wi-Fi, you have clever Aussie radio astronomers and engineers to thank for the convenience.
Well, I'm actually not, because I'm on an Ethernet connection. But either way, it's a great invention. So hopefully that done it for you guys. You know, you got some more Australian inventions, and maybe we'll do another one, because somebody said that there was like 60 really good inventions from Australia that they seen that there was a list that said that there were 60 or something. But anyways, thanks for watching. Hit like and subscribe, and you guys have a super fun, awesome day. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. Bye.